Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of the MUSpartans.com Spartan Show for the week of September the 25th through October the 1st, 2017. This week, men's soccer player Tod Oram drops in. Head football coach Nate Jensen and Donavan Henderson Jr. provide a recap of the home opener against Mount St. Joseph University, and Manchester University sport management students Austyn, Rybicki, and Faith-Alexis stop by to talk about the planning for Manchester Madness this year. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us today, Todd. Can you give us a little insight from your summer travels to Costa Rica? How did the trip come about and things?
So the trip came about through Beyond Sports. They actually, 2 years previous, invited me to go with Travis Richardson, who went 2 summers ago, and I wasn't able to go, and so I talked to him about, what was the trip like? Did you like it? What did you get to do? And he told me it was a ton of fun. You got to, zip line. You stayed at a bunch of different resorts. You got to play, at 3 different stadiums and whatnot. And so I decided, I was like, man, I gotta make this happen. So I went. It was one of the most life-changing experiences I've ever been through. We went zip-lining down a volcano. We met this little village of people. There's only 700 people left of their village, and they hand make all these wooden masks and all these different designs, and they have messages behind all of them. I got to play in a semi-professional stadium with insane fans where flares are shooting everywhere and whatnot. It was awesome. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever been a part of.
That's cool. So could that experience lead into anything postgraduate wise, or do you have any plans as of now for graduation?
So I don't know if that trip specifically, granted I made connections. I still talk to the head coach that coached us through everything.
Sure.
And I text one of the tour guides that works with Beyond Sports. And so, if an opportunity presented itself and I liked it, yeah. But as of now, my goals are to graduate from Manchester and go to grad school for my master's in physical therapy assistance. So if Beyond can help with that, sure, I'd take it.
Very cool. So just tell us a little bit about your life in soccer. How did you get into soccer? Did you have someone that was a big influence growing up?
So I originally started out playing baseball. My dad is a 4-time state champion baseball coach.
Oh, wow.
And so kind of following I want to be like dad. And my older brother and my older sister played soccer, and I was like, oh, well, I can do that too. And as a kid, the seasons overlap, so I was like, I have to pick one, not knowing that in the future they would split up in season. Mm-hmm. And I got to meet a lot of new friends in soccer, and I liked the whole traveling with my dad. He drove me to every tournament we went to. And I ended up being better at soccer, so I was like, well, I'll just choose the one that I'm good at. And so it started when I was about 4, and going back to the influence question, it was my brother. My brother's 12 years older than me, so I was never allowed to win at anything. I was never allowed to be the good one. I always had to work for it. And we would stay up till as late as possible playing outside, and he was just drilling me doing stuff. And so yeah, it's definitely my brother that's my biggest influence when it comes to soccer.
Awesome. Well, good luck with the rest of your season, Todd. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And now we move into our weekly highlights segment. First, the men's soccer squad battled Ohio Athletic Conference power Ohio Northern to the wire on September 20th, falling 1-0. The black and gold posted 10 shots against the Polar Bears, while senior goalkeeper Brady Foreman posted 6 saves. Manchester University's women's tennis team was in action September the 23rd, taking on conference foe Earlham College. Coach Eric Christiansen's team was an 8-1 winner, rolling to 4 straight set wins in the process. Senior Miriam Alley spotlighted the win, earning a double bagel win at number 2 singles. The Spartans football team stepped on Carl W. Burt Memorial Field for the first time this year, September the 23rd. Coach Nate Jensen's squad registered a pair of first quarter touchdowns as senior Jared Borf hauled in a 25-yard touchdown pass from sophomore quarterback Alex Downard, and sophomore Donavan Henderson Jr. scampering 58 yards for a score. Mount St. Joseph answered in both counts and moved on for a 31-14 win.
Head football coach Nate Jensen and sophomore Donavan Henderson Jr. are now our guests. First, for Coach, what were the takeaways from the staff following the home and conference opener against Mount St. Joseph September 23rd?
I think the one thing that we've talked about today in practice was just making sure we're not making those mistakes in critical times, and making sure that we're finishing everything that we do right now, because that was probably the biggest thing that we saw on the film.
It's good to hear. Donavan, you had a big afternoon with a long touchdown run and over 100 yards. on the ground. What's the biggest key to your strong start this season?
I don't get like carried over in stats, but the bigs that for the strong start, go into my front O and the team working together every week, getting better.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, and Coach, it's back to the road for 2 weeks at Franklin and Defiance before coming back to Burt Field for homecoming October 14th. What are going to be the 2 or 3 areas yourself and the staff will be focusing on with the team going into the road trips?
So the first thing obviously is, with those 2 long road trips is making sure that we are focusing on one game at a time. It's very easy to overlook one game and look to the next, and we can't do that. And we got to make sure that we're focusing on one game at a time, and then just making sure we're playing with 100% effort all the time, and laying it out there on the field and just leaving everything out there for our guys and for our school.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coming and talking to us and telling us about your games.
Thanks.
This week's Spartan Show MVP of the week is sophomore volleyball middle hitter Riley Patterson. She resumed an amazing run last week as the Spartans defeated Franklin College and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville September the 23rd, earning her 9th and 10th straight matches of finishing 300 or better in attacking percentage. Congratulations, Riley.
Senior Austyn, Rybicki, and junior Faith-Alexis Graham are now on the set. We're talking about what had been called Primetime at the Perk, the annual celebration for the start of the basketball season. We understand there's a new movement for a new name. How's that coming along?
It's going pretty well. We decided to switch the name to Manchester Madness. We figured Primetime at the Perk had its long running, and now we decided to switch things up. So we took a class vote and changed it to Manchester Madness, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Awesome, Manchester Madness. With the help of Dr. Hedstrom and Dr. Kong's sport management classes, you two and many others have been very involved with planning of the event. What kind of process goes into getting this ready, and how many people are involved?
Marketing is definitely like the biggest part of it. Like you have to get people there. People have to know what the event is, what time it is. We had to figure out what would be the best time to get the most people there. And basically our class and Dr. Hedstrom's class are the 2 classes involved.
There's just a lot of different sides going into it. So as Tia said, there's the marketing side, then there's the event management side that Dr. Hedstrom's class will be doing. And so we've had a few joint classes that we've been working together on, trying to make sure we can get this event to go smoothly and get as many people out there as we can.
Awesome. Is there anything you can share with us about new things that's going on for the event?
So we're in the beginning process. There's a lot of just kind of figuring out what worked last year and what didn't that we could change to make it work this year.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that's going on. Right now, really all we have is the set date and time, which also is another change. We're moving it from a Thursday to a Friday. So we're going to see if that goes well with the new transition name from Primetime to Manchester Madness.
Yeah. We're also going to start sort of a marketing campaign. We're going to have a giant ball, and we're going to have a contest to see who can take the best pictures with it. So.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. We will continue having guests to talk about the annual celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of the Spartan Show. Make sure to stay up to date with all Manchester University athletics stats, scores, and news by visiting www.muspartans.com, the home for Manchester University athletics. Make sure to join us in 2 weeks as we'll be back on the air. We will be taking a break for fall break next week. So again, our next show will be in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. To watch our latest video, click the box here. To subscribe to our channel, click this circle.